actually loved the question when I saw it because I love talking about employee experience. I'm very passionate about customer experience, but to me, employee experience is what comes first, to be honest. The relation between employee experience and the customer experience is highly interlinked. But of course, the employees first need to be highly engaged, need to have a great experience, need to love the company and the product they're working for and building in order to really be there for their customers. So I would even go as far as to claim that there is no excellent customer experience if there's not also a great employee experience at the same time. Because not only is a high degree of employee engagement and satisfaction extremely important in organizations with customer-facing teams like customer care or sales or account management, but also in those teams that are not client-facing, those teams that build products that are supposed to delight their consumers or their services that are supposed to delight. Those need to be built with a passion and with a conviction. And that is very, very important to be able to get that across. And employees just have to love their company, love their product in order for them to bring the best experiences to their users. So I think I've made it very clear. I think to me it is extremely important and highly, highly interlinked. So thank you for the question. I think most companies are not paying enough attention to their employees' satisfaction, engagement, and experience. Very much has happened since 2000. And at the same time, to be honest, way not enough. So over the last 2 decades, companies have understood the importance of catering to individual needs, and that it is no longer sufficient to look at general demographics and socio-demographics. Users don't want so much to be put in the same bucket with millions of others just because they're female, age 35 to 45, maybe have similar household incomes. Requirements and user needs are so much different. And of course, over the last years, it's not only been the millennials that have, come to the forefront of wanting, of businesses wanting to cater to them. It's a Generation Z, et cetera. Everybody is way more individualistic these days. People want their requirements and their needs to be met on such a more individual and specific level. And of course, data, of course, is the key for all of these needs and these requirements. Capturing data, understanding what users want. And most companies have gone fairly far with collecting the right type of data that they need in order to understand their consumers better. Of course, the change in cookie policies and data protection over the last years has made it very difficult, or has added some more complexity. And or old IT legacy systems, or of course also data being collected in silos. So different parts of organizations that collect different types of data. And in the end of the day, companies cannot bring one view to the customer because they have so many different views and they can't identify who's the same customer, who's the unique user. So I think the issue that companies are facing today is that they've probably got too much data and they can't really put their finger on who's the unique user in this particular case. So there's a lot that has happened in the last 20 years, but again, it's maybe been a bit too random the way data has been collected. And that companies now definitely need to focus on making sense of the data they have and making sure that their tech stacks and their IT legacy systems are up to par in order to digest all of the information that companies have on their users and to put it into the best possible use. As mentioned earlier, the consent issue, the cookie consent issue, the data privacy topics, those of course have brought in an additional level of challenges to companies. But to me, the single best way to circumvent these challenges or to tackle them is by finding a way to get users to give you their consent for tracking them, for being able to market to them. And to be honest, companies, I mean, I don't want to make it sound too easy. It is not, but in a nutshell, companies have to find a good reason why a user would want to give their consent to be tracked and to be marketed to. This involves trust. Trust is one of the most basic elements. Companies have to show that they are trustworthy. It has to be very convenient, and most importantly, there has to be a true value add for the consumer. And if they believe that those three, so trust, convenience, and true value add, are given, then users will be more likely to leave their consent. And then companies don't have to worry so much about not being able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And then ideally will have data around consumers and will be able to personalize without having to worry about the privacy. I would not want to recommend any one particular one, but I think what has gotten a long way over the last few years are any kind of technologies around social listening. So sentiment analyses, understanding what is being talked about in social media, and they're really trying to get to the bottom of what is moving people, what are the needs, what are the pain points, and really putting some intelligence around understanding what is being talked about, and bringing that kind of data into your overall data set, in addition to the kind of online tracking that you may already have. So that's something where I've seen a lot of companies have not yet fully invested in that kind of technology in order to also get those insights from our users, which, you know, everybody these days has at their fingertips, and the technology is very, very good as well. So basically, the session will be around being a listening organization. And we've all heard it a gazillion times that it's so important to be an active listener, to really, really listen to what our consumers want, what they're saying, what the pain points are. At the end of the day, it's companies find it very, very difficult, or often find it difficult, to make the right decision. It's very easy. If you listen properly, consumers will tell you exactly what it is you need to know in order to prioritize your next steps. And active and proper listening comes down to the right mindset also of your employees. You will want to make sure that those employees that are really listening, that are doubling down, trying to understand, asking the W question several times over and over again to make sure that they really got to the bottom of it. Those types of behaviors and those employees, they should be rewarded for really chipping in, and listen closely. The technology will not be an issue. There's great technologies out there. It's about really listening and about really wanting to get to the bottom of things and being there for your consumers.